Hello, YouTubers. This is Tom in the beautiful city of Chicago. And in this episode, we're going to talk about some trailer tips. These should help you get to the water and get back safely without any issues. In this series, our video, we're going to talk about a silent trailer hitch pin, a swing arm coupler, tongue weight, your chains, and some other things that all have to do about hooking up to your car. And this will be the first in a couple of series. I don't know how many series I'll make, but there'll be quite a few of them. Now, the trailer we're going to be looking at is this 2003 Triton aluminum trailer. It's a great trailer. No matter what problems I point out, I would buy another one, hands down. Now, this trailer has gone through hell. It's 20 plus years. It's been to Seattle and back from Chicago twice. It's been down to the Ozarks. I can't count how many times I've been up to St. Ignace and Mackinac City, out to Port Clinton, and also to Savannah, Georgia, to do a little riding on the Atlantic. But it's been around the country quite a bit, and I hope to get more years of service out of it. But the first thing we're going to start to talk about is the hitch and the silent trailer pin. You'll love these silent trailer pins. So let's take a look at that. All right, I opted to just make a demo in the garage here. I live in Chicago, and there's an alley out back. I really don't like working out there. But what I have here is I have the standard hitch pin. It's got a little, just standard. And then I've got the locking. Now this locking trailer pin is nice, and I'll show you why. This is just a coupler. It's 2-inch that I snagged. And if you put a regular pin through, let's get that through. All right. Big problem is you've got all this slop in there, and the banging and all that while you're on the road will drive you nuts. So what they did is they made this silent pin, and what it is that this nut gets put into the ball part of the receiver. You just slide it in like that. It's got a spring to retain it, so when you take it out, then once you put it in, okay, this part screws in. Okay, let's get this. You screw it in. Just it's screw it in. Now it pulls it all the way to one side, but you've got to tighten it up. And typically, when I tighten this thing up, I take a hammer and just hit it and get it super snug. Once it's snug, it does not make any noise. It's got a little insert right here. Oops, you got to put that in before you tighten it up. Let's get that in. Come on, get down there. There you go. And then your lock just goes on top like that. It's a pretty nice setup. But the thing about it is, when we tighten this up, is once you can't move it, right? But you got to really tighten it up, and like I said, use a hammer or whatever to really get some leverage and crank it down. And it's so quiet and nice. I've been using this for like 20 years, and it's great. Let's go on and talk about tongue weight and the hitch. Now, tongue weight. Here we have our hitch right here. Tongue weight is the amount of weight that the trailer exerts down this way. This particular trailer with the skis, full tanks, you multiply each gallon by 6 pounds. And the dry weight of the ski, I looked that up in the manufacturer's specs. I add those all up, and then the actual trailer itself, too, you include. And this trailer is like 270 pounds. And it came out to 2,200 pounds. Now, the industry standard is 10 to 15%. So I should have a tongue weight right here of 220 pounds, minimum. And to be honest with you, that's just too heavy. I have to pull this thing in and out of the garage. It just was too much at 220. 220 pounds. So I went down to 150. 150 is like 7%. You're still in there. It still rides nice. So I kind of stretched the specs for convenience of pulling this trailer in and out of the garage. But when you measure your tongue weight, now I did it with a scale. I'm not going to set that mess up again. You can actually buy weight scale from E-Trailer. They're pricey though. They're like $180. It's a little ball that goes right in there, and it will show you the weight. Just get a bathroom scale, put some blocks on it. You want to measure that tongue weight when your trailer's level, nice and level. You don't want it, or the way it's going to be riding on the car. Typically, when you adjust your hitch and your ball on the car, make sure that the trailer's semi-level. It should be, it doesn't have to be perfect, but make sure it's level. It will ride better in a level position. Now, because of the weight that I'm pulling around, 150 pounds, I put in this nice little handle. I got that from E-Trailer, which is really sweet. It makes life a lot easier. Now, I had to put in larger bolts, and as you can see, I made sure they're class 5 bolts. They have 3 marks that signify they're class 5 bolts. Also, little tip here, always use nylon locking nuts on any hardware you put on your trailer. This prevents the nut from slipping off and things like that. But this was nice. Now, there's another point I have to point out, and that's your catch, your lock. Here, you can adjust it for the ball underneath. There's a nut, and let me show you. I don't know if you can see that, but there's a nut. You can make it tighter or looser. Just make it snug. It shouldn't be super tight, shouldn't be super loose, and don't use any grease on your ball. The grease just attracts sand and dirt, and it will chew it up real quick. The other thing I have to point out is on this latch, always use a bolt, or in my case, if I can find it, yes, here it is. I use this nice lock. As you can see, oops, got to get it locked. Hold on. There we go. This lock's nice because they can't use a bolt cutter on it. They can use a cutting wheel, you can get it off, but it just gives me a little extra security. And I kind of dig that part of it. Now, let's talk about this swing coupler here. This thing's kind of interesting. Because my garage is so narrow or short, and I wanted extra room and stuff to move around the skis, I got this swing. Allows you to break it off like that. Now, I got to point out on this thing, it is not recommended for an aluminum trailer. Manufacturer, the Fulton, I think manufactures it. They don't recommend you use this on a aluminum trailer. I'm not sure why. I could see one problem is that you would get galvanic or electrolysis process going between aluminum and steel. So I put electrical tape between it so it would stop that electrolysis process. But I replaced it just recently, and I checked the structure to make sure there were no cracks or deformity in the aluminum, and I saw no problem. So I'm not sure why you wouldn't use it other than the electrolysis process. Now, I have to warn you about these things. I have one over here. This is the one I replaced. And let me find that nut. Here it is. Let me get this over to the trailer or the bench. Here's the one I replaced. And what happened is this nut broke. Okay, this goes goes in here like that. And the reason why it broke is because this thing, if I could show you, has so much slop in it, and it was just banging away. And I knew it had slop, but I didn't think it was a problem. What's going on is these ears are bent slightly over the time. I don't know if they bent or they just wore down on the edges or something like that, but that created slop, and that's why that bolt broke. But if you look at this one, let's take a look at this one. This one is snug. Let me show you this one. Okay, look at that. That thing doesn't wiggle at all. So it's really tight, and I highly recommend if you do a swing hitch, make sure they're tight. If they start to loosen up, replace it. One thing I forgot to mention is how do you adjust your tongue weight. The way this trailer works is the ski is on this slide right here. You can see it's bolted down, and it slides back and forth, and you adjust the ski position in the bunk to get your correct tongue weight. Now, underneath here, you got a couple bolts. One right here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you should be able to see that. Yeah, one there and one in the back here. You just loosen those up, push the ski forward and backwards, and play with it until you get the right tongue weight. Now, there is another way to adjust tongue weight on different trailers, and that is you move the axle back and forth. I've got an example of that in the backyard. Let's go take a look at that one. And here's a Shorelander. You see those two big bolts there in the frame? That unbolts the axle assembly, and then you can move it back and forth. Shorelander says you can drill holes if you don't like the positions, but just be careful there. Make sure they're exactly lined up. But that's the other way you can adjust trailer tongue weight, is with moving the axle back and forth. All right, let's talk about chains. In my scenario, because of this fold-away coupler, I have like two sets of chains. I have to chain this part to the main trailer frame in case this coupler ever failed. I crisscrossed them in the loop here, and I got to balance them out, but they'll just tighten up and balance out. Now on the front here, I highly recommend that you cross your chains. You can see, like, you don't want to hook them up like this. You want to cross them, and what that does is it makes like a cradle for the trailer hitch. If it detaches from the car, it will end up in this cradle and be held in there. The chains shouldn't be super tight, but they shouldn't be super loose. I mean, you want them, just hanging like this, something like this. That's good, but you don't want them hanging way down. You have to have a little play in them to get around turns and things like that. Now, if your chains are too long, just go ahead and twist it, and that's fine. You don't have to cut them or rearrange them or whatever. And you just twist it up. Also, when I hook it in, I hook it top like this. I don't hook it like from underneath. I go top down. I'm not sure about that. A lot of people say hook it this way. Others are saying hook it down. I don't know. Whatever you feel comfortable with, as long as it's hooked to your car. But check your chains. Make sure they're in good shape. And make sure they're secured to the frame of the trailer. You don't want any, you don't want to secure to this or anything like that. It has to be the frame. All right, that's the end of this part. There'll be more parts in the future. I'll probably go over tie downs and tires, and we're going to go into the suspension and electrical and things like that. I just wanted to break them up into a series of videos. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and maybe subscribe. I could use the subscriptions. A little low on those. But thanks for your time, and we'll see you on the next series.